Welcome to this new movie, and in this movie we're going to basically wrap up paragraph 1.1 and we're going to get started. I'm going to get you started with paragraph 1.2. 1.1, the one thing we need to wrap up, still need to do, is a linear relation. And in 1.2, it's all about the gradient and the y-intercepts. And when you have a rising line and a falling line or a horizontal line, or what if you have a vertical line. I'm going to use question 9 on page 14. So please, if you don't have your book in front of you, pause the video and then grab your book and then go to page 14. Okay, on page 14, question 9 is about the formula W is 3a minus 1. And you can see they have already made half a table with question A. So basically I was already started with question A. And with question A, you need to basically fill in the table. So we simply are going to fill in the table, and you might do this from your head, or just in your mind, or you might grab your calculator. But we have minus 2 multiplied by 3 is 6, minus 1 is minus 7, and then we have minus 4, and then we have minus 1, then we have 2, 5, 8, 8, and last but not least, we have 11. And with the last question 5 of paragraph 1.1, you needed to see if there was a constant increase if the step was up by 1. Why is that the case? I'm going to show you that if this is plus 1, you increase this all the time. It's a very good table, so we increase this with plus 1 all the time. And if you then have the same increase over here, if we go from minus 7 to minus 3, you add 3, and the same over here, and then the same over here, plus 3, and plus 3, and you can feel it. I'm going to say plus 3 as well, and then again plus 3. Then you can see in the table that each time you go one step on the horizontal knee, then the other one, it adds the same number you get. Then if this is the same number all the time, you have a linear relation. And a linear relation, the formula is like this. And they have special names, the numbers. This number, this is basically what you get if you fill in 0 for the request quantity, and that is called the y-intercept. So the y-intercept is what you get if you fill in 0, and this number, which you can see is the same number if it's with which it is increasing all the time, it's called the gradient. Okay, so that's why that's gradient and y-intercept. The gradient is how many you go up if you go one to the sides, and the y-intercept is if you have 0 where you intercept the y-axis. The questions, if we continue with 9b, plot the graph of the table. I have used my computer, and you can see over here this is how the graph should look like. And you can see at 0 the y-intercept is at -1, and then if we go 1 to the sides, we go from -1 to +2, so it's an increase of 3. And again, here if you go 1 to the side, you go from 2 to 5, so you have an increase of 3. So that means that it goes 3 to the side, so that is basically the gradient, is the steepness, how steep the line goes up. And with C, how much does W increase when A increases by 1? As you can see, it's 3. You can see it in two ways. You can simply look at the table. If you go one up over here, you go 3 up. Or you can take a look at the gradients. And the other one, and then this with D, which number in the formula tells you where the graph intersects the vertical axis? Well, that's where the A is 0, so this one is cancelled out. So the 3A is cancelled out because if I multiply something with 0, it is 0. And then we are left with -1. So the -1, so the other number is the y-intercept. I want to go a little bit further. Over here you can see I have here written down the formula. And that formula, you can see from the formula if it's a rising or falling or horizontal line. Right now you can see the gradient or the number before the variable is a positive number. So the 3 is positive and it goes up, so it's a rising line. And if I would make it a negative number, you can see it goes down. It is a falling line. So if the gradient is negative, it's a falling line. And it could also be 0. Let's do that, 0. And then you can see it is a horizontal line. Please note this is not a straight, you don't call this a straight line, you call it a horizontal line. And then there is also a vertical line, and the vertical line is slightly different. Then you simply have something like a straight. Okay, you can't graph it, but a vertical line, then you have that the x value is the same all the time, and then you have a vertical line. And that's something you can also see in your book on page 16 if you have done question 14. Okay, so to redo it, you should have learned how you can see from a table when you have a linear relation, and then you can see that over here as well. You should have learned what a gradient and a y-intercept is. And we're going to apply that in class. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in school.